Hello everybody, welcome to my log.
Cheers.
This video is all about this artwork. It is untitled at this time, so for now I would call it the flowers dragging on the floor. This process has been very intuitive. I had an image of how I imagined it being, and it's been a way of me exploring using electronics within my work for the first time. In essence, I imagined flowers hung upside down, turning around, teetering between floating and the floor, in which there would be some substance underneath. A couple of ideas have been soil, water, paint and bleach. The plan was to use an Arduino to spin multiple servos which have flowers hung underneath. I watched countless YouTube videos which gave me an understanding of how to safely install and run multiple servos at a time. So here is my code. So I used 4 servos per Arduino and 2 Arduinos overall for this practice run. Each were connected to pin 3, 5, 6 and 9 and turned from 0 to 180 degrees and back again. Next up was putting everything together, connecting the Arduino to the code and connecting the servos to both Arduino, a breadboard and a 9-volt battery. Once that was finished, I pushed the servos through the holes in the plexiglass which I had previously drilled. The servos were spinning around on the other side of the plexiglass. I chose to use plexiglass as the place to hang the servos and flowers from for 2 reasons. The first being I had the plexiglass already, and secondly I liked the idea of being able to see the mechanics within the piece itself. Then it was time to hang the flowers, which I was using invisible thread or fishing wire for. And I had previously played around with what kind of height I would want, if I would want to then be suspended or dragging on the floor, and I decided on suspended but very, very close to the floor, just floating in between. Okay, so slight interruption into this log. Basically, I was filming, I did the clips of the final sort of exploration, uploaded it to the log, deleted the clips, to then make room for more space on my SD card. I hadn't exported, and so when I opened this to export, the clips had disappeared and been replaced by clips of other parts of my log. So I have been to Albert Heijn, I've bought some flowers. Unfortunately, they are not the same flowers, and they didn't have any of the same flowers. But I think that's fine because it's just to get a general understanding of what I'm going for with the piece as a whole, and also later on I talk about how I needed to think through the flower choice anyway better. So I don't think it's devastating, but I think that it's important for me to say that I've had to refilm this again. Yeah, I'm an imbecile. But that's that, and let it continue. So once I'd hung it up, this is what it looked like. I was balancing it between 2 wooden posts which I'd created for another artwork, with bricks rested on, obviously, so this isn't part of how I imagine the end point being. I do like it. I think what I needed to figure out better is what kind of flowers I wanted, how I wanted the piece to be hung in itself. I think there's something very nice about the wood, but I think that once I figure out what I want underneath the work, whether I want bleach or the soil, I definitely want something that creates a displacement between the flower and whether it's a kind of unnatural substance, so the sterile versus the organic with the bleach, or the soil has been taken away and separated from the flower. However, I think I need to play around with using DC motors or something else instead of servos, because they can only go 180 degrees and there isn't as much force as I would like. But perhaps if there were more flowers, maybe it would have a bigger impact. I also would like to play around with using some kind of electronics to have the flowers go up and down, perhaps dipping into bleach, into paint, and that's my next step, to start researching that as well. There were definitely things that went wrong with this piece and things that I struggled with, especially within the electronics. I accidentally burned a motor. I thought that I could alter a servo into being 360 and turned out I couldn't, so I had to buy some more. And I've been through so many batteries and spent so much money on batteries because I kept forgetting to unplug them when I was going home. But overall, I'm really happy with how this exploration has gone. And one final side note is that this piece is not completed. This is just the initial exploration. And I've really been thinking about how I can better create this piece, I guess. Yes, so that's the main thing, is this is not done. This vlog is not done. Log, who do I think I am? It's a log. And let's watch this space and see what ends up happening. I will add more to this log later on down the line.